be so good to you. I could be so good to you. I could be so good to you. I could be so good to you.
What's up, besties? It's your girl Sheridan S. Davis, and we are back with another episode of the Good Girl Rich Life podcast. Y'all, I'm so excited about everything that we have coming up. Thank y'all for rocking with me, for liking videos, for sharing videos, for subscribing, and even and even listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That means a lot to me. I am curating conversations for girls like me, church girls, and then this is an opportunity for everyone else to take a peek into our world. So, baby, this episode is I cannot believe I'm having it. I can't believe that we are here, but I think it's time that we have a discussion about friendships. It is difficult for me to build friendships as an adult. I'm not sure if anybody else goes through that. And it's probably even more difficult since this relationship that we're talking about today has come to an end. Today, I want to invite you into a conversation that I feel needs to be had. Hopefully, some healing can be fostered through it, through our transparency and just through our testimony. But first, I want to encourage you to go ahead and go on Amazon and purchase my series, Church Girls, and all of my other books. Church Girls is my flagship series. I recently released book 5 of that series, which y'all know I was never planning to do. It was only supposed to be a 4-book series, but here we are. So go ahead and go to Amazon and get those books. They're available on paperback and as well as Kindle. So during some of the most special years of my life, I had what I call a best friend. Now, I call y'all my besties because I'm curating this space online, but physically, I had a best friend right after college, right as I was starting my publishing company and all that. I was building a foundation and also building a really amazing friendship with my guests. So if people saw me, they saw her. If they saw her, they saw me. We were literally 2 peas in a pod until we were not. After the dissolution of our friendship, it left many people wondering what happened. They were all up in the business trying to find out what happened, and we're here to talk about it today, not to ease their curiosity, but literally in efforts to help other people who have dealt with friendship breakups. So without further ado, I'm bringing to you my former best friend, Zipporah Springfield. Hey, Zip.
Hey, Sherry.
Not you calling me Sherry on the podcast. Okay, so y'all already seeing how this is going. Nicknames.
That just threw me. You say hey, Zip.
I did. Okay, so y'all don't think y'all could call me Sherry.
Please don't.
My actual name is fine. Sheridan is fine for the people who watch. But anyway, Zipporah, how are you? How's your spirit?
Ooh, I am well. I'm great. I am blessed, and literally, I can't find one complaint.
Amen. Come
How are
on
you?
here. I'm good. I'm good. So let's get into the conversation. Do you remember how we became friends?
No, I was in college. I think it was the I was about to say the Save Sex Tour. It had something to do with the actual gala.
Right.
I remember that.
Okay, so let me refresh our memory and tell y'all. So prior to us actually becoming friends, our families have known each other down through the years, church stuff. We're both church girls. Her grandfather is a pastor. Was the former pastor. He was a pastor at that time. My daddy is a pastor. So church girl stuff. And her mom, so I think my mom had preached at her former church, and her mom was saying that we needed to get together or something like that. And so I was like, when my mom told me, I was like, why? nothing against her. I was just like, why? I was in this at a different time in my life, honey. Okay. So anyway, I ended up having a purity ball. And we could talk about purity culture another time, but I had a purity ball to um encourage others who were on the journey of abstinence. And because of that, she and I started talking. And after that, we maintained a friendship. I think that's what happened.
That's what happened because it was right before I came home.
Yes.
Right before I came back from Oklahoma.
Right. So she went to school in Oklahoma. We got to tell the full. She went to school in Oklahoma.
Hey, I didn't know people. I was out there in the 405.
Yes.
Right before I came back from school, that's when, because I believe the purity ball was literally as I was returning. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's connect. I'll be there. And
right. And that's what happened. So she was coming home from school in Oklahoma. I was coming from school in Wisconsin, although it's not the same. Wisconsin is up the street. I was home all the time. I didn't have the away experience. I was away, but I wasn't away. So yeah. Anyway, that is how we became friends. Now let me ask you this, because like I said, we were two peas in a pod. We used to do so much stuff together. Zipporah has a prayer line. Like I encouraged her to do that. I did my play and she was by my side when I was doing that. We were always playing opposites of each other and helping each other with whatever vision that we had. Let me ask you this. People used to say stuff like you were the Gail to my Oprah. And they used to make little comments and statements as if you were my like wingman, like I was Batman and you were Robin. Did that type of stuff ever bother you?
Well, people are gonna be people. Like, and by that, like people are gonna be messy. I have discovered that people are not happy unless they're being messy or a part of mess. So little comments like that, no, because I knew who I was. And if I could tell this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm part of, this is what I agree to. Like no one's making me do anything. So this is me. This is who I am. So people don't always say something.
Yeah, of course they are inherently messy. But it would bother me.
Well, I didn't hear all of it because my clapback was real strong, and so was my backhand. So I clearly all of that little stuff didn't get to me in the moment.
Right. Yeah, people would say stuff like I was Batman and you were Robin, and I'd be like, can you not? Mm-hmm. That because I felt like I was trying to protect our friendship, and I knew stuff like that could have the potential, not that it did, but could have the potential to plant little seeds that I just felt like, dang, we just became friends. Why you gotta
right?
Why are you saying stuff like that? And it wouldn't be like people in our age group. It would be like grown people.
Probably the same grown people that are trying to figure out what happened, and they still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. What kind of friend was I, honestly?
Oh, what kind of friend? I would say supportive. I would say strong-willed.
Wait.
Very opinionated.
Okay.
You're the mama bear friend. Like we're 5 months apart. My mama is alive and well. Leave me alone. Why are you fussing? Like, why you beating up on me? But it wasn't necessarily beating up on me. Like, it's literally like the mama bear friend. No, this is my friend. Don't try her. Don't try it. So what's up? Like the whole you see me, you see her, you see her, you see me. That wasn't just a thing. That wasn't just to be seen. Like that was a part of who you were as a friend. If being honest, that part of the friendship, that was geared by you because I just be cool at the house. But as a friend, you're like, no, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go. Friend, what you doing? Let's do this. So you're that friend that you're gonna be there. You want to be in the mix. You're gonna be, hey, if you're my friend, this is what we're doing. Let's talk about it. So yeah, To sum you up, you were that mama bear, and that's not a bad note. Like that, it's a lot. It's a protective, it's the nurturing. All of that came. All of that came with the friendship, including the parts of the mama bear where I'd be like, "Girl, please, you know that ain't right," or what the Bible say, "Girl, I ain't calling you for that. I ain't calling you for that. I don't want to hear that right now. Let me just be here for a second before you pull me out, okay?"
That what the Bible say just told me.
Yeah, what the Bible say? Because you know the Bible.
Okay, let me give some clarity too, and I agree with everything you're saying. I'm gonna give some clarity that I was not that way to all my friends. I was that way with my best friend. I was not that way with everybody. And specifically that way with you because we have a lot in common. These people don't know. Sephora is also a minister. And so our friendship started with the accountability factor because of the abstinence thing. So that's where it started. That was kind of like the foundation. So for me and for you, it's like, girl, I don't know. You might not want to do that. The people is watching you. You a pastor's daughter. You a pastor's granddaughter. That was kind of like the foundation. But do you think that was like, what's the word I want to use? Do you think it became overbearing? Like, was it a lot?
At times, at moments. But I can't pinpoint like, okay, yeah, it was this one time where it was like, okay, this too much. So if we gonna dive in, let's dive in it, because at times it was, and for me, as loud as I am, as outspoken as I am, it was very hard for you to understand why I wouldn't speak up when something bothered me. You know, look, that eyebrow.
Because that's where I was going next. Like,
there's the eyebrow. So yeah, so that's that's a thing. So if it became overbearing, you didn't know or didn't know in the moment because I didn't say anything. For me, it's whatever, shut down. However, and I learned about myself. Like I'm one of those in the moment. I'm not good in the moment. I'm not good with certain confrontations in the moment, like addressing things. I need the time, the space to think about it, to process it, to get my words. Because in the moment, I might go off. And the way that my mouth is, instead of telling you like, "Hey, just give me some time, give me some space." No, in the moment, it's whatever comes up comes out. And I literally may not mean that. So instead of me saying it, I won't say anything, and then never have the courage to ever come back and revisit it so we could talk about it. So for me, yeah, there were times, but did you know it in the moment? You probably got an email about something later because that was me trying, but sometimes were failed attempts of trying to get it out. But yeah,
I think first of all, thank you for saying that, because I think okay, let's take a look at one of our shows at that time, Girlfriends, right? So like the reason why Joan could be what Joan was and doing out in this dynamic, I was the Joan. Um in certain regards, I was the Joan, and I think Joan was the mama and the y'all come over here and let's rally everybody together and doing all that. Because nobody ever said, "Hey, we don't want to do that." And I did not know, because our foundation was built on the accountability factor. And it was like, girl, you're my prayer. We were literally prayer partners, and we're waking up in the morning to pray, and we were doing all of that. So because that was the foundation, was built on like kind of low key correction or holding each other accountable, I would never know, especially knowing your personality. These people don't know, but at that time, me knowing your personality and how you'd be like, "Girl, no, I ain't doing it. I don't no." I would never know that you didn't want to do something. So for me, I think for those who are watching, it's important whatever kind of relationship you're in, because everybody's always talking about these relationship breakups, but to me, in my life, friendship breakups have hurt worse.
They're the hardest.
Literally. I think communication is key. Like,
Absolutely.
even if you could have just said to me at that time, had I known it was a Zip needs to go away and then she'll come back and have a conversation, things would have been totally different. I just didn't know.
Right. And so for me, I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't learn anything. I had to learn things about me. So I know,
Mhm.
like you and I had like a what you call it, 15-hour conversation. Okay.
Yeah. About that.
So I didn't know in that moment. I didn't know those things about me. I shared with you in that last like really long conversation I had with you. I started therapy after our friendship ended.
Mhm.
Like it was that bad, you know. So I'm in therapy, and I don't know when I started, but there were a lot of things that I was just could not get a hold of, and I was like, something is not right. Like I'm praying, but
Yeah.
something's not right. So when I finally got this therapist, I'm doing my sessions, and then all of a sudden, May 2018, I have this random seizure.
Mhm.
And I had a therapy session maybe a week or two after that seizure. And I sat on that lady's couch and I was like, you made me have a seizure. She was like,
Not blaming the therapist.
what? I was like, I was just fine with all that stuff tucked away my whole life back there in the inner parts. And I've been talking about these different things and all this stuff is coming. And lo and behold, Lord Jesus, I didn't have the seizure. So it's like it took me a while to realize what kind of communicator I am, what kind of person I am. Like, how do I want to be communicated to? How do I want to communicate with you? How do I process? So that took me some time. I hadn't found that person when I was best friends with Sheridan. Like that wasn't, I had not located her. So even in that, I realized I think a little over a year when our friendship ended, I had been dealing with auras, which were silent seizures. Nobody knew that, including you, because I didn't know what it was. And I just thought, again, the enemy, Satan, literally telling me I'm tripping, I'm making this up. My dad knew something because I went on the road and I was driving and I called him. And I remember saying, I don't feel well. I feel weird. That's how I used to describe it. I feel weird. I feel weird. He's like, where are you going? Where are you? I was going down to surprise Mark Jones. Because all these church kids, we've known each other. I was going down to with his sister to surprise him. So I'm going to meet up with her. And I'm pulling off the road and I begin to get sick in my vehicle and just vomit all in my vehicle. While I'm on the phone with my dad, I'm like freaking out. He's freaking out because I'm like too far away from the house at this point. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going because I'm close to her. And all of that was literally all of that was things I had been internalizing, and it didn't come out and manifest itself until I started seeing my therapist and all that good stuff. So it was a lot with me that had nothing to do with my friend or my family or anybody else. It's just that's how I dealt with things because I was never taught how to deal with things. Be strong, deal with it, it'll be all right, keep it moving.
Yeah. What's interesting is, and again, I didn't know this, y'all, and I'm saying that because what's interesting is internalizing is a problem for me. I did not know that that was a you problem. Um, I have dealt with that forever. And so even back then, I would internalize with other people, but I was very vocal with you. Like I felt like our friendship was a safe space. And at times it felt like, well, later, what I felt was that I felt weird because it felt like maybe this wasn't a safe space for you.
Mm. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that it wasn't safe. I can't really put words to, like, I did not feel like I could not share. I just literally didn't know how to. Um,
Okay.
so it wasn't, oh, I can't tell her this. Oh, she can't know. No, I didn't know what to even share. Like I'm one of those that, oh, you good girl, keep it moving. Like, do what you gotta do. So it was never, and that's why I wanted you to know, like when we broke up, it was never oh, this is on you. And no, it was hey, I'm really dealing with something and I don't know what it is. I don't know if you could help. Like, for me, it was I didn't want to be around anybody. I'm done with everything, everybody, everything. Like, leave me alone. And I only dealt with my parents because I had moved back into the house.
What is your best memory of our friendship?
Ooh, best. It would probably be the surprise trip to Vegas when I'm thinking I'm going to California for a conference with your mom, and you randomly got clearance to attend the conference too. And I'm like, wait, okay, cool. All right. When did I find out? On the way to the airport?
Okay, so let's pause. So my mom, for those of y'all who don't know, first of all, follow my mom's YouTube channel and her on TikTok. She does afternoon advice. She's a chief empowerment officer. Anyway, my mom is definitely a preacher. Okay, she is a preacher girl, and so I'm sure Zip don't mind me telling y'all, but she is one of the people who definitely inspired her. My mom is one of the people who inspired my supporters preach. So, with that being said, my mom would preach certain places, and she had a conference that year. Zipporah was very instrumental in helping us with the conference. It was not a surprise for my mom to be like, "Hey, Zip, I'm preaching at this church. I need you to come with me." Okay, so that part is not foreign, right? I need you to come and help me out, be like an armor bearer, right? And so I had devised this plan for Zipporah's birthday. I think your 21st?
25th.
25th. Why did I think 21? That didn't even make sense. 25th birthday. To take her to Vegas. It was a surprise trip. So if I could find the clip, I'll insert it here.
So I'm about to hop in that shower. And then we're gonna ride over to get support. It's 3:30. Our flight is at 6:15, so I need to hurry up. But yeah, all right. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I love support so much, and she better know it after this. We've told her that she's going out of town with my mom for a ministry engagement. But what she don't know is we going out of town for her. All right. All right, I am on my way to Zipporah's house to pick her up for the big surprise. I told you I had a birthday gift. Here's your card. Okay, I know that's you, but the glare is just, that's Jesus. He won't. It says, beautiful, strong, unique, and inspiring. There's only one person in the whole world like you, and I'm so glad to call you my sister. Happy birthday. I'm reading your writing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Zipporah, when we first became BFFs, you told me when your 25th B-Day came, you were going to Las Vegas. Here's some gambling money.
Zipporah, we're on our way to Vegas. Happy birthday!
Lying.
I am telling the honest to God truth. That's why we couldn't give you all the information.
That's why. Okay.
Happy birthday! Turn this light back on.
No.
Zip, we're going to Vegas. Go paint the town purple, child.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. You got me.
Zip,
No.
turn around.
No.
Please.
Yes.
Why your head down?
Because
How do you feel?
this is a funny.
Are we excited? That was your best memory?
That's the one that sticks out the most. Not the fact that, oh, I got a trip to Vegas. It's the fact that, oh, somebody thought enough of me. You're not blood family. Yeah, so I'm like, wait, what? We're going where? You did what? I was in awe the whole way through. I'm like, wait, we're in Vegas, because you brought me to Vegas. So I had never experienced anything like that. And if I could backtrack all the way to the beginning, I too have had issues with establishing long lasting friendships, friendships worth any value, so all of that, the friendship with you and the things like that, that was totally new. Never experienced it before, because I had said I wanted to go to Vegas. And okay, I just want to go to Vegas. For me, that was the end. No, for you, that was like, aha, okay, let's do this. So it was more of the thought behind it and then the execution. So it wasn't, oh, I got a trip. No, like this girl booked me a trip with her own coins and I got flued out. It wasn't, oh, when we got there, oh, you got to put up half of the room. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. I hear stories of people that get invited to trips and stuff, and when they get there, they fall out because the other person didn't put up the half. And I'm like, I thought you were taken there, So that was, for me, that's a core memory for our friendship. As far as the best memory, I don't know if I can identify like one best, but that was really a core memory for me.
Okay. That memory did the opposite for me. It did the opposite for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. In the moment, I love that I did that. I was so excited that I could do that. I got some type of hookup basically.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm taking the zip to Vegas. We're going to Vegas because that's where you want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then your church had given you like this surprise appreciation, which was not a surprise at all. We all knew about it. You knew about it. And so I was like, okay, well, at least I'm going to cover the flight in the room. And I know she'll have money in her pocket. And I gave you like a few dollars to gamble with, right? Even though, let me take that out.
Even though neither one of us knew how to gamble
at all.
Like, not even a little bit.
At all. So that was hilarious. But it wasn't until later where I felt I regretted. Once we weren't friends anymore, I regretted that I did that.
Of course, rightfully.
Yes.
I probably would have too. Like,
yeah.
Definitely.
Because it wasn't even that long from their trip. It wasn't like 5 years later we weren't friends anymore.
No, it was the next year.
The next year. And I was like, what part of the game is this? I felt played. I felt, not that you even asked for it, but I felt played. I felt like a fool. I was like, and I will never do that again. So shout out to all the other people that I became friends with after that, because I have never done it again. Okay. So let's get to it. In your mind, why did we stop being friends? Like, what was the official fallout? How did it happen? Because let me put this out there. I think there's a misconception, because I'm in the forefront, not that you're not, but you know what I mean? Because people make me Batman, that they think I did this. So what was the fallout of our friendship?
I don't remember all the details. I do remember that at one point the communication was definitely no longer, like, non-existent. I was in that, yeah, I don't want to be bothered, but not communicating what's going on. So I think you were reaching out and I was either not responding or delayed responses or whatnot. So I think at one point, you kind of, it was over it. You was over it. And then I got my feelings because I did feel like something was happening on social media between us. Like, I wasn't posting nothing, but I remember feeling like, okay, you commented on stuff, and I felt like you were commenting, like if it was somebody above me or underneath me, you commented on everybody around me, and everybody knew not only did you see us together in person, but you also saw us on social media. So I'm like, okay, now this is intentional. Like, okay, she's skipping over. She ain't saying, okay, whatever. So that had happened a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna, in the most zip-like way, I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna do all that. And I literally, I didn't say nothing, didn't say anything at all. Just went in. I remember it was a work day. That's all I remember. It was a work day. I was at work about to go into a meeting, and now I'm looking. I'm looking for. I'm like, is she really not saying nothing to me on social media? Is she really not? And I went and I unfriended you on Facebook, and I don't think you saw it to either later that day or the next day, because when you saw it, you reached out immediately. Like, I thought I was tripping, but no, I just went to your page and it says add friend. Like, you asked something, like, I don't remember what you asked, but you said something. And so for me, it was I was in my feelings, and whatever I had not addressed with you or anyone else in that moment, that had ticked me off enough to just be like, okay, well, if we ain't gonna talk, then let's not talk. And that's where I was. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, because social media fights, I just feel like that'll take us to a whole nother level, that I'm not even gonna be on Facebook fighting with nobody, especially my best friend. At the time, I'm not gonna be fighting on social media. And no, I wasn't talking, we weren't talking, on the phone or anything like that, because for me at that time there was nothing to say. I didn't have nothing to talk about.
What you mean?
I don't address things, so I don't have anything. I don't have anything to talk about. So it's like, and then there's this thing, like, for me, is in relationships, there are like these unspoken expectations, and people will fail in any relationship when you have an unspoken expectation. As a friend, your expectation as a friend, you can chat every day. We will, every day. Me, I'm like, no, I don't have to talk every day. I don't, like, what, we ain't got to talk every day to be friends, even if we're best friends. Like, I'll talk to you on the weekend, or I'll do this and I'll do that. So if we don't get, that wasn't communicated, that I didn't, or that space I was talking about, it wasn't communicated. So for me to have the expectation that you will miss because I didn't express it, is going to always be something. And so I feel like that I can't pinpoint, oh, you did this, Sheridan. Oh, you said this. No, it was however I felt in whatever moment, whatever. And then you let it build up. You let it build up. So I don't have oh, Sherry, then she did this. Then she did this. No, it was, I know for sure she not talking to me on social media. We ain't talking about me not responding to you on text messages.
Because that's the part that's sending me over the moon right now.
That's what happened. It was the social media. I know. Yeah, okay, but why you ain't saying nothing to me on you want it to make sense? It's probably not gonna make sense. But
no, I'm just listening to the fact.
If I unfriended you right there, that's when I unfriended. When I saw, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't have words. It was okay.
Okay. So for me, and y'all, this is more of a conversation than an interview, and it's probably all over the place because we just getting it out. So deal with it, like, share, comment, and subscribe. For me, there was definitely distance there. I did not know why, and I remember asking you why. Obviously you didn't want to share, but I remember even saying to you, like, listen, if you don't want to be bothered right now, just say that. But don't, when you go ghost, it make me feel like I personally shot you in the foot or something. Like, what did I do to you? So if you don't want to be bothered, just say I don't want to be bothered. But this is weird. The weirdness was the problem for me. And so then you did end up, actually, I don't know if you remember, saying, hey, I just need space. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So I gave you that. In the midst of you, before you saying that, ignoring all my messages and all that type of stuff, which I'm like, listen, I prefer for you to just tell me what it is than me having to guess. And I remember once we had that conversation, once I noticed that we were no longer friends, I called you And when I called you, you were so stank on the phone as if I did something to you. And that was blowing my wig back. I'm like, hold on, how you got an attitude? Where they do that at? So at the time, I'm thinking, listen, I'm a friend who treats my friends, like my best friends, like family.
Mhm.
So I don't want to itemize things that we've done for each other, but we know. And I felt like me and my family treated you like family. So for me to be on the receiving end or whatever was crazy to me. So that was crazy. Your attitude was crazy. And I'm like, what did I do to you for this to be what I'm getting? So the attitude was driving me insane. And I was like, okay, you want me to kiss your butt because you up here telling me you ain't talking to me on social media. So what? You're not talking to me in real life. So why would I keep talking to you? That I just was not like, no, you're not gonna ignore me and then be like, well, you ain't like my comment. So
Definitely was like, definitely, yeah, you ain't talking to me in social media. And I was not responding in real life. That was definitely.
And the thing is that the reason why I found out that we were no longer friends, because I don't know how long it would have gone until I found out, because I was not looking at your stuff at all. You had shaded me in a comment on socials, and I was like, is this hussy talking about me?
So that's where we're going to disagree, because you keep saying it was shade towards you. And
wait, the comment or
I said it was shade towards you?
I thought we agreed on that.
I said it was straight towards you because I just remember saying something like, I know that all too well.
I think later on you was like, yeah.
Oh, now that part I don't remember. Now that I don't remember.
Okay, let me say it like this. She made a comment on social media about somebody was saying, I don't want to say who it was saying that you could do all you can for folks, and sometimes your best is not good enough. And she said, I know that all too well. And I felt like that was shade. I perceived it as shade towards me.
Yeah, I don't right now in this moment don't remember that being directly directed towards you, because that can fit a lot of things in my life. And yes, we did do a lot for each other, and a part of me couldn't blame nobody but myself, but there were some things I did that I should not have been doing. I should, like, financially was a strain to keep up, instead of saying, hey, I can't do this. Because at the time I had a house, I had a car, and I had a job that was not giving enough for what I really needed. So when it came down to doing stuff again, because I don't know if I don't want you to say something. No, I literally was doing more than what I was living beyond my means to a certain extent. And so, yeah, I do feel like, and there were some areas or times where I was doing way more than I should have been doing with my finances to be out and about and going here, there, and eating out and this, that, and the third. But again, with not speaking up and saying anything, no one would know, because every time it's an invite, I'm there. Every time it's something, I'm in the mix, I'm in the number. So again, that was another thing, not necessarily directly linked to you, but that was another thing. Like, financially, it was a lot being out and about, kicking it with my friend.
Yeah. I just shook my head like that because, again, I wish we would have just talked.
Yeah.
I wish we would have just talked, because I didn't know any of this.
And y'all, she ain't lying. She
none of it.
Like, no.
And some of those go outs wasn't my idea. Like, first of all, let me say this to those who are watching. You know how they say don't put all your eggs in one basket? I feel like because I was coming back home, I really was not trying to make friends like that. And we had developed this friendship. I put all my eggs in this one friendship basket. And that wasn't a good thing. And I felt the ramifications of that later, but it wasn't a good thing. And let me apologize, although I didn't know I didn't know that I was putting you in those positions. I'm going to apologize for this. I apologize for the expectations that I had that may have been too much. And some of those weren't expectations. I think that I was just like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go do something. Like, I was just trying to be that person because you was just coming back. I was coming back.
Well, that's why I can't blame. Like, I'm not gonna do all that and like that's not.
I don't take it as blame.
No, I'm just like, it's like, okay, like when you just gonna say, "Girl, I ain't got it."
That's it.
Right now, like today, if you say, "Hey, let's go," blah 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 blah, I'd be like, let's try that. On this particular day, because that's not gonna work for me right now. Like I have, I wouldn't go in and say, well, I gotta do this. No, I got some big stuff coming up. I got some, some things that's not in the budget right now. So well, let's meet up. You feel like making some Alfredo? Because look, I got some shrimp. Like, if you catch me today, you'll get that response.
And I think that's why
you ain't gonna get that from me because I wanted to go. I wanted to do, but I did not have it.
I'm glad that you're saying though that I wanted to, because it wasn't just me. Like I feel like I sometimes bear the burden of everything. Like people, and I feel like even you sometimes were putting maybe not today, but I feel like everybody was putting everything on me. Like when you got sick, people, did you call her? Negro, did you ask her? Did she call me when I was going through stuff? This is when we weren't friends anymore. They felt comfortable being like, and did you go check on her?
Yeah, you told me about that.
So why am I doing that?
Yeah, you told me about that. You said she would say that part.
I said you did not want this. So why am I forcing myself to, hey, you okay? She don't want that.
Well,
and that was my perception.
So I think people were like, because I only had maybe like I had a couple of people reach out on 2 different occasions. It was one when your grandfather passed. They reached out after the fact, like, okay, you weren't there. Like, y'all, like, done. It was that occasion. And then the other one was when I got sick. Because I think I got sick before your grandfather. My first seizure.
It was after.
It was after May 2018.
Oh, wait. Yeah, my granddad died in 2017. Like right after we stopped being friends.
Okay. Yeah, so then that, and then after when I got sick, Sheridan checked on you, and I was like, no, why?
But I did.
No, like,
oh, physically being there.
Yeah, I'm like, I definitely talked to you. You apparently, it was on Facebook, and I was like, how did you find out? And you were like, it's on Facebook. And you cool, because I was in the hospital, I think, when you reached out. So I'm like, yeah, but no, that's not. I think people's expectation was when tragedy struck that we would drop everything and go back to the way that it was, and that's just wasn't one of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't one of those situations.
Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up just for the sake of besties. Y'all comment down below. Have y'all ever had a situation where you felt like a man was coming between your friendship? I am a late bloomer. So there are things that I just literally did not know how to navigate, that I would come to you and be like, hey, he said this. I want to smack him. How I say that in nice. So I feel like a lot of girlfriend breakups have to do with men. So Zipporah and I had dealt with 2 best friends. And one day I get a call from the friend that I was dealing with. And he was going off on me. First of all, I ain't played it with the yelling. He had tried that previously, and that did not end well. Amen. And so he was going off on me and saying things to me, that just really blew my wig back. He was saying that I was sharing certain things that he and I shared privately with my best friend, and she was then telling his best friend. And some of these things, I'm like, hold on, I never even knew that. What are you talking about? I never said that. I never said that. And he's going in. I thought you were a woman of God. I thought you had integrity. You ain't this. And
Wait, pause. Because the best friend, whatever he was telling your friend, the best friend was saying it to me like, oh, I can't stand when he do da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I heard it, but I didn't say you said it. But because I'm in the conversation with you, you want to tell him.
Wait, it froze. Say it again.
It froze real good because your face was still like that.
All I heard was, so yeah. Okay.
So I said, so the things that he was coming to you saying, oh, Zip said you said this. No, his best friend said it to Zip. And he wanted to address his friend instead of addressing his friend. You telling your friend that I said it to you. And I'm like, I never heard this until you said it. So yeah, he went back to his friend, told him everything he wanted to tell him about himself by saying, you said it to me, I said it to him, and now I'm just telling you what they saying. And I'm like, none of that is even true. So he called you going off and almost got knocked out. But, you know, he called you going off, and we're like, I don't even know where you got that from. Or I know where you got it from, but I don't know how Sheridan's name came into it because she wasn't even a part of that conversation.
Now, man, y'all, this whole time we're in our 20s, so because this is so childish, but
20s.
The perception was that my best friend was over there pillow talking, okay, and getting me into a bunch of stuff, and I was confused. So I'm thinking either you or your friend is lying, and I didn't know how close she was with the man, okay, and so once I started finding out through the grapevine that she was very close with the man, I'm like, well, is this coming from her? It gave very much betrayal. So I got to tell you something. With that being said, I had, right after our friendship breakup, I wrote my flagship series, Church Girls. So y'all, what happened between Selena and Miriam is not what happened between me and Zipporah. Let me first lay that out, okay? However, I did name the character Miriam to be a way to name her after Zip. But none of what happened between them happened with us. I just wanted to put that out there. That is my way to address that. However, I did want to name her after her just as my way of putting the nail in the coffin in my own mind of our friendship, to just be like, you know what, this is dead, and stop expecting anything else from it. And again, this was the same year. Stop expecting anything else from it. Stop looking for a call, looking for an apology. Don't look for nothing. Just let it be dead. Did you have a grieving process for our friendship, or was it just over? I guess I'm just asking you, did it hurt you too?
It did.
What did that look like for you?
I had my moments where I was like, I'm just gonna reach out. I ain't gonna reach out. I ain't gonna do that. I talked myself out of it. I don't know where.
Why are you talking yourself out of it?
I was gonna say I don't know where. Looking weak to who, like what weak about what, you know, being strong versus being weak. Like, what are you talking about? Like now, yeah, it all looks stupid. It is stupid. So my grieving process was definitely came out in therapy. Definitely,
I came up in therapy.
Definitely had sessions in therapy, processing it because it was a big deal for me. But people they don't see that with me. Like hey, when I'm done with something, like my cutoff game is strong. Yeah, that's cool. That's your best friend. Like that's how I would deal with stuff. Just cut people off and going about my business. But that one was hard because you were my best friend. You were the one person that if I had a good day, I could call you about my good day. If I had a bad day, I can call you about my bad day. Like I had a bad day one time, and you pull up with some taco meat. Like let's like I'm being real.
I
Like
think that's why I couldn't process you saying like I couldn't afford to do certain things. Who cares? I didn't care. I'll be like, girl, forget that. Let's go to
yeah, but
we gonna prep these eggs.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
I'm literally
on.
about to just put this all on. I'm literally gonna just put this all on immaturity.
Okay.
And not because it would be really stupid and a bold-faced lie for me to just sit here and be like, yeah, I tried to tell her or I want no, like when you don't have the proper tools to communicate, when you haven't been when you haven't grown up in that culture where communication is important, then you navigate this thing on your own. And so as a young adult, navigating that thing hurts the next person when you're doing it the way you've seen it done. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it, where growing up that I see things happen and it never gets addressed. You just go on about your business, and that's not how you grew up. I've been around your family. Y'all be talking about stuff even when you don't want to talk about it. So for me, nah, it's let it go, sweep it under the rug. And so you do that for so long, I can't navigate life like that. So now in my 30s, no, I that was a terrible way to end a friendship. In my 30s, I know now, okay, I should have done more to protect the friendship I loved the way that I did. I should have done more. Hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but maybe give me a few days while I think about it. I didn't do that. I should have done more of just being real, not with you, but it starts with being real with yourself. I wasn't real with myself about how I felt about things, how like the things I really wanted to not I'm just throwing this out there, not nothing specific. How I felt, the things I really wanted to do. I didn't have that, or I didn't do that. So as now approaching 33, I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but I do need a moment to process that. I have different tools now that I didn't have then. And so because of that, it truly did affect our friendship. It wasn't no, oh, Sheridan over there, and she'll get over it. No, I was going through it too. We just weren't friends, and so I couldn't tell you. And then when we did reunite, and you were telling me like how you were.
Girl, I was guarded as heck. Let's talk about
Oh, girl, I wish I was in my pastor's office. I can get you that statue, baby. He got a statue in his office, and baby, yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture because that's how you was at Cold Stone.
Okay, wait. Let me introduce it. So, we did not speak, y'all, after our friendship ended. After this hussy unfollowed me, unfriended me on Facebook. Now, mind you, that was so passive aggressive. Listen, while we were friends, I had blocked her as a joke. This girl about passed out. Do you remember that? We was at LJ house and you were like, if you ever do that again, I was like, bro, okay. Like I didn't I know it was gonna be that serious. So then for her to do that, I'm like, okay, okay. This is the message you're sending. No, okay then. All right. You done. All right, cool. Um so one of our mutual friends passes away. And it was very painful. Still is painful. Um my phone gets an alert from Zip, who I never talked to, had not spoken to. And this hussy is asking me, can we go for ice cream?
Well, what you're not gonna do is keep calling me a hussy. That's what we not gonna do.
And I'm bringing them to that time, and that time in my mind, that's what you want. That's what you
not
want.
gonna do. Yeah, I understand.
So what made you? What made you reach out to me? I mean, obviously his death, but like, yeah.
I think it was like way overdue, long overdue. I had wanted to reach out before that many times and talk myself out of it. And I was just like, whatever. I was at the point where I'm like, because now mind you, I don't know that you going through it or went through it concerning our friendship. I didn't know that you had went through it like that. So I'm like, okay, she cool, whatever. She over it. So we don't have to be friends. But then when he passed and I was sick. I was sick. And I knew, I mean, I've known him since what I was 14. And I'm like, can't be true. You're the only person that you were our only like real mutual friend. Like we had other mutual friends strictly on the church scene. That we kind of reunited at that time as well. But you were the only one that we actually went out, had dinner and stuff together, all of that, three-way phone calls. I'm like, well, let me check on her because I knew you two had gotten closer over the years. And while I wasn't as close, that was still, devastating. So I'm like, let me see how she doing. I go to see how you doing. And
Wait, pause before you keep going. You know what's interesting is that he would say, I'm gonna bring y'all, I'm gonna get y'all back together. And I'll be like, no, the heck you're not. And if I show up anywhere and you done brought her there, I'm leaving. I'm letting you know that now. And whole time, it took for him to die, but he got us back together.
yes,
I hope God could, I don't know. I hope he know that, like in some way that God could relay that message. I don't know. But go
got
ahead.
us back together. Yeah. So I call myself reaching out just to check on you. Next thing y'all know, I'm like, you want some Cold Stone? You want to meet up for ice cream? I said, this girl gonna think somebody stole my phone, but she know it's me because I'm saying Cold Stone. Like, and I was just like, if for nothing else, if for nothing else, at the end of the day, I am still um a child of God and a woman of God. And I don't rejoice when other people are hurting. I hurt when they hurt. I mourn when they mourn. And I know how you are with friendships and I know how you are with death. So to have our friend to pass that young in life, I'm like, if I'm going through it and I ain't talked to him in this amount of time, let me see how she doing because yeah, I would probably want somebody to check in on me that knew the value of the friendship as well. So that's what, and I'm gonna give credit to God because that's where I knew that I had started growing spiritually and had enough courage to even reach out just to say, hey, how you doing? You want some ice cream?
Mm-hmm. So when you reached out to me or when we went, what happened?
I, I felt like it was one of them things, in the movies when they like, I'm gonna show up early and I'm gonna stake out the scene. I was like, oh Lord, should I have reached out? Oh Lord, should I be going to meet up for ice cream? Like what? I really didn't know what to expect. Like I honestly I didn't have any real expectation like, oh, this is going to happen. I didn't have any of that. I thought that we were going to get ice cream and just say, hey, how you doing? And you told me that there. He told me he was going to get us together, and I'm cracking up, and I'm like, yeah, probably would have walked out too. If he had like, I don't need you to be facilitating nothing, whatever. But I know we did kind of chuckle at that in that moment, and honestly, from that, I thought that would have been the end. I thought it was like, okay, well, she yet holding on, pray for her, and just keep it moving.
Yeah. So for me, when she asked me, you guys, to go for ice cream, I went to my parents. I was like, y'all, what is this? Pray with me. Cause what kind of agenda is this? Is she trying to stab me? What is going on? I ain't heard from this lady in forever. Why? Should I go? I don't know what's going on. So yes, I was extremely guarded. Uh, and maybe still am a little bit now. Um, I just was like, what was the reason? Like, I think I always am looking for the reason. Like, okay, you want to go to ice cream? Why? So, yeah, that was that, and I definitely thought that was it as well. And then last year, I think, was it last year, this year? I don't remember.
Last
I
year.
was okay. So I told my parents. Now this whole time, let me tell y'all something. Zipporah's talking about her cutoff game is good. Mine is immaculate. Once you show me you don't want to be in this space, you don't have to be, baby. I don't hold people hostage. Amen. Praise God. God be with you, and we don't have to meet again. And so it was a clean break. I'm talking about. So y'all know how you'll dissolve a friendship, and it's so weird because we had all these people in common. Definitely people would come to me. Had anybody been in your ear concerning our friendship after it was over?
Like asking what happened?
Not just asking what happened or trying to talk about me, anything like that.
Yeah, y'all need to go out, y'all need to call each other, y'all need to what happened. It was, most of it was
What happened?
what happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, here y'all go. So I had a lot of the what happens. I had a lot of speculation, that type of thing. Anyway, what was I about to say? Jesus. Oh, so last year, and like I said, it was a clean break. One would have thought, with all of the mutuals we had it built in common, that we would have seen each other any and everywhere, and we did not. I'm telling y'all, since 2017, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've seen this girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh?
And still have fingers left.
Right. I had it was like, do we live? Because at the time we was only 15, 20 minutes away from each other. How am I never seeing this girl again? That was absolutely crazy. But at any rate, so I couldn't say I missed our friendship because I wouldn't let myself miss anything about this. Because to me, honestly, just felt like rejection. And I was like, all right, and I'm not gonna put myself in that position no more ever. And so it wasn't until last year where I was like, I woke up one day and I was like, I don't know why, but I want to reach out to this child. And is it demonic influence? What is going on?
Demonic influence is wild.
I mean, I went to my parents. I was like, baby, I turned Jamaican. What one? Like, why do I want to talk to this child? And not just a full conversation. I was like, I feel like I kind of miss her, but I don't. But I do, but I won't.
Right.
And so I asked him, I was like, should I say something? And my dad was like, I mean, y'all were friends for a good while. Like, if you want to say, hi, I'm just checking on you, there's nothing wrong with that. And I was like, all right. So I did. And we went to Uncle Julio's.
Julio.
And we had a good time. And we just kind of talked. We briefly talked about the past, but not fully. It wasn't until this year sometime where we fully went into depth about the past and this conversation too. Like, I still feel like I'm getting enlightened on things that were happening on your end. Do you have any questions for me?
Do you think, because both of us have really strong personalities, and when we make up our mind that we not gonna do something, we're not gonna do it. So do you think if either one of us weren't as headstrong and had reached out closer to the breakup, do you think we would have gotten back together?
Oh, back then?
Yeah.
Mm.
knowing how strong your cutoff game is, how strong my
Right. That's why I'm pausing. So, because a part of me wants to say, yes, but a part of me feels like no. Honestly, for me, I probably wouldn't have responded. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like I'm gonna just be fully transparent. I sometimes feel that people feel like they can punch me in my face, and then because of my relationship with God, they can say they sorry, and they feel like they could just come back. And I'm tired of that. I am tired of that. So at the point in which you were clear that you ain't want to be over here, I was done. And that's why when you did reach out and you wanted to have ice cream, I'm like, what the heck are we eating for? What are we talking about? You did not want to be okay. What are we eating for? So I think no, I would not have been in a place to receive it. Now, had we had a discussion before that final conversation we had, I think we could have salvaged our friendship. Um I'm just thinking about the passive aggressive things that we have done or not done or say, like, it was just really a lot could have been solved with communication. I think if we would have
Absolutely.
communicated earlier, a lot could have been solved. I hope I answered. I'm not sure.
You did.
Okay.
that was when I'm like, huh. Because I know even it, and like I know for me, it's like so the unspoken expectations. I didn't expect this from you. I'm just using an example as I'm thinking back now, not then, but now, knowing what I was actually going through. I know that affected our friendship in the way that it did. So it wasn't just all I'm just headstrong. It was also something that was affecting affecting me. So it's like, had you known that, even if I had done something, as I feel like knowing who you are at your core, when you get out of your petty, like when you when you get out of your petty, you definitely are that person that's like, okay, well, whatever this is, we're gonna pray about that. So I do feel like I needed that, but nobody knew, and it's not necessarily just from you. I needed that, period, from somebody.
Yes, I felt like I was trying. Okay, I was trying to be that. I didn't know what you needed, but knowing now what I wish I would have known then, I was already trying to be that for you.
Yeah.
But you were resisting that.
Yeah.
So like in moments where you when you finally were honest about the finance, you and I went out somewhere and your money was stolen. You remember that?
TGI Fridays.
Yes. Your money was stolen and you were about to pay your car note. I was like, we gotta help because I wanted to be that. I think, you know what I think this is? I think it's a case of, and people usually use this term for a marriage or a relationship, but the right love at the wrong time. I think you wasn't ready to receive what you needed, and not just from me, period. And I think I was pouring maybe from an empty cup. So I think it was the right love at the wrong time.
That's a good synopsis. Bring it on.
I think the real question is, what is your expectation for the future? Or do you have one? Like, what is your desire when it comes to this?
That's a great question. I didn't have any expectation when you reached out to go to Uncle Julio's. I was like, why? Same thing, you know, you have about the ice cream because I'm like, I know I want to go to ice cream and he had just passed, but like, why you want to meet up now? So I was like, okay, cool. And I remember like we broke our little social media internet posting that picture.
Yeah.
People in the comments was going up that time.
Look at God.
Be easy, because y'all was probably some of the same messy ones behind the scene, putting your own narrative on stuff. Okay. But when you did that, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect to walk away and be the old, you know, what we were. And I'm like, okay, that was cool. I didn't feel like I had to pretend to be something else. I didn't guard it, but not like I ain't saying nothing this whole thing. No, because why would I come? Like if I didn't want to have a conversation with you, like breaking bread that's not something you do with. I don't break bread with everybody.
Everybody, right.
I don't share no, you know, cheese dip or whatever. Like I don't do all that.
I ain't sharing my queso with y'all.
Don't even ask, don't even look this way, you know. So when you ask, and because I knew who you were and how you were with that, I'm like, okay, we're going out to get something to eat. Okay, this different, but that's cool. And we've been out to eat since then, and it doesn't feel odd. It doesn't feel as odd as the very, you know, first time. And it's because I'm more comfortable with me.
Wow. Okay.
Has nothing, and that's I think that's the one thing I want everybody to hear, especially you, because and let me apologize for the hurt that I caused you by not being okay with me. So people have to understand, when you aren't comfortable with you, it's going to be very hard to be comfortable addressing things with other people. When you don't know how to address it with you, how can you address it with the next person? If I can't, it's hard for me to tell you what bothers me with you when I can't look at myself and say, hey, girl, you know, you shouldn't be doing this, or, you know, you need to get this together. So the one thing that I would say to you,
This girl got me crying on this freaking
don't do that.
podcast.
No, because I don't want people to think, oh, Sheridan was a bad friend. Oh no, Zip did that. No, like people have to grow. And sometimes growing pains, you may have to grow away, you know, from that person. But the God that we serve is literally the God of reconciliation. So we may not ever be the best friends that we were, but I thank God that we are an example of two adult Black women that were able to at least come back and have a conversation. Because the truth of the matter is, people are looking for folks like us to fail. People are, and I believe, and I'm not even going to give the devil credit, but I believe Satan had a lot to do with our friendship. Despite what I felt, despite what you felt, I believe that Satan thought he won, but God used our friends to bring us back to. That almost got real preachy. He used the death to resurrect us and bring us back. And I don't expect, to answer your question, the expectation is not for a trip to Vegas, but the expectation is, hey, I was thinking about you. How you doing? Hey, I was thinking about something. Can I run it past you? Because the truth of the matter is, there's not one person you could share this podcast all over the earth. There's not one person that could say the stuff that Sheridan told me I shared with them when we were no longer friends, and nothing I've ever shared with her has ever come back to me. So when I'm even when I break up with you and we stop being friends, your secrets don't have the lock is not loosened at that moment. And so because of that, I think even that allowed us to even have a space to reach out. Because if there were things coming back, you'd be like, wait, what? Wait, what? So yeah, to answer the question, I don't have an expectation of this. I just want God to do whatever He's going to do and be open with it. I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're continuing to do what you've always desired to do. I remember when we were friends, I told you, you are a trailblazer. You don't go the path that you see other people going, and that's okay. And I love that about you. So keep doing it, keep blazing, keep doing. You reached out to me, and I was like, "What she want?" I saw your name pop up. I said, "Oh no, what didn't happen? What didn't happen?" But yeah, I'm proud of you, and I'm happy. I'm happy that you are you, and you didn't fold when everybody else has stuff to say.
Wow. I don't like you, man. I don't. I don't.
David.
I don't appreciate you having me cry on this doggone podcast.
Oh,
Um. So my last question is the question that I give everybody. So not thinking about what you knew of me then, although I have evolved, I'm still the same person at the core. I ask every guest, what is a bit of advice you could give me about love and relationships? And this could even be about friendships. What's your advice?
advice is what I would say to anybody for love and relationship: be open, be honest, set your expectations, because people are gonna love you or they're not. And the same way you was like, hey, if you don't want to be in this space, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you hostage. That's true. Continue to do that, because you shouldn't have to force relationships. If you have to force it, it ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last.
Period. Well, thank you so much, Lepora. Y'all, I just had a full blown conversation on the internet
The
with my former best friend whose birthday's in 2 days.
Woo!
Thank
Hey,
you. We need to go out to eat. What we eating at?
let's talk offline. Let's talk offline.
Period. Well, thank you, Sephora, for being a part of this podcast. Besties, thank y'all for watching. That's all we got for today. Comment down below. Let us know if you learned anything or if you too have dealt with any of these friendship, immature miscommunication errors. Okay. We love y'all so much. And thank you again for watching. Bye.